disharmony, disorder. But along with structure, you need this spontaneity. That within the structure, within the boundaries, you are free to do whatever you want in your own creativity, in your own autonomy, in your own freedom. Be yourself. Don't conform. Right? Don't conform. Don't try to be someone else. Be yourself. Be true. Be free. Right? That's the spontaneity. Every kid loves spontaneity, right? You ever tell a kid how to play Lego? You must do this, you must put this on there. You try asking a kid to do according to what you want them. No, dude, it's just anyhow. Because they're spontaneous, they're creative in that way. Right? As long as they don't scratch the table, right? You say, okay, you can play, but just keep within this boundary, right? Don't go and Yeah, but within that, they're given the spontaneity, and they thrive in spontaneity. Right? The more you tell them not to do this, not to do that, right? You're depriving them of the basic need. Okay? And how many of you in your office are just told what to do? Right? You want to create things, or you want to do something with your own imagination. The minute your freedom is taken away from you, you die. You feel purposeless. You are disengaged. You feel like there's no reason. You're just trudging yourself to work. Right? So spontaneity, we need spontaneity. Okay? Freedom to be me, freedom to be creative, right? Spontaneity is also not just in what I do. It's the freedom to think what I think, feel what I feel, know what I know, express what I express, create what I want to create. This is me. I get to express me for me. Right? If I think this way, I think this way. I'm not going to, just to suit your preference, pretend that, okay, yeah, I also agree. But I don't. I must have that freedom and spontaneity. I don't agree. But am I rejecting you? No. I'm just saying I don't agree. I agree to disagree. Right? But I want to protect my own individuality. Must have that freedom to think what I want to think, feel what I want to feel, say what I want to say. Right? Of course, that must come in with compassion, gentleness, all the kind of thing. But what I'm trying to say is, don't become who you're not. You must have the freedom to choose for yourself. This is me, this is how I'm feeling at this point in time. It might change. It might be wrong. I must also have the freedom to be open to that. Oh yeah, maybe what I think right now is wrong. But I must have the freedom to think what I think now, then later reflect, oh yeah, okay, maybe I got it wrong. But as long as that freedom is taken away from you, cannot cry, cannot think this way, cannot think that way. You lose yourself. You have lost your freedom, you have lost your spontaneity. I can try to encourage you, inspire you to think somewhere else. Let me share with you my perspective. Then you think, oh, maybe you're thinking better. Okay, I change. Great. But as long as that spontaneity is taken away from you, kill the person. Okay? Sixth, self-actualization. Right? We saw this in Maslow's hierarchy of needs. Right? But basically, it is just to actualize yourself to be fully human. To actualize your very identity and being as a human person. Right? To not become an animal, to become a robot. Right? You want to be a fully human, fully alive. The glory of man is, the glory of God is man fully alive. Self-actualization. But there's one more, which Maslow didn't talk about. Self what? Self-transcendence. Not only must I be fully human, my main aim is also to be fully divine. Because I'm made in the image and likeness of God. God became man so that man can become God, St. Anthony's. Because our true purpose was to become like God, to be in union with Him, to be divine like Him. That's our true nature, made in the image and likeness of God. Because of the first fall, we lost our divine likeness. Right? But that's what Jesus came to do, to restore us to our divinity, to be heirs to the kingdom of God, to restore us from a sonship, a divine sonship. Right? So it's not just enough to be fully human. Yes, that's important. To be integrated, right? I remember I told you last session, holiness is not just spiritual, but wholeness, body, heart, mind, spirit. But that's what makes us fully human. But beyond that, we are called to transcend ourselves so that we are also fully divine. That's why Jesus was the greatest role model, because he was fully man, fully divine. And that's why we are called to become like him, to be Christ-like, not just by actions, but by nature also. Human nature, divine nature. Okay? And these are the 7 basic needs that every human person would thrive and flourish if they are given space to be this. That's how we live in poverty, by receiving from God these things that God has given us to embrace and to thrive in. And so far? Any questions at this point? I know there's a lot to take in. These are all psychological studies, which I learned in my own therapy course. But I feel it makes so much sense even in the spiritual life. And I'll share why soon. Okay? The last part now. This is the life we are meant to live. This, the basic human, this from psychology, which means God created this. Let me clarify as well. Doesn't mean that by psychology it's not spiritual. God created man. And if God created man, psychology comes from man. Psychological principles comes from God. Psychology comes from God. Okay, so this is psychological studies which shows that to be fully alive is to have all these basic needs met. So when your theme is, the overall theme of this whole series is what? Talitha, koum. Little girl, rise. And I shared with you last session. I think that little girl is not just a human person that Jesus gave a miracle to rise. I told you last session that the little girl, that the first person we need to raise is our true self. Talitha, koum. Little girl, little boy, inside of you that we have buried alive, that we have pushed down, rejected, scolded, criticized. We need to tell our little child, our inner child, to rise up. And why do we want to raise them up? So that we can awaken them to love them. So today is about awakening the inner child that we have hated, despised, pushed down, and says, get up. I want to love you now. I want to really treasure you for who you are. I want to be I as a person. I want to awaken to love my inner child again. Because once you can start to love your inner child, what happens? You start to love who better? One another better. So don't focus so much on how can I be more loving to my community. If you focus on how can I be more loving to myself, naturally, who you become when your little girl and little boy rises up, you will be loving to everyone around you. Make sense? That's how you can love one another, is to love yourself. So I'm going to share 3 ways to start loving yourself. Okay? Understand? This is the crux. I know I build up very much. These are the 3 most important things to take away from today. Okay? How do we awaken the love for ourselves so that we can set our inner selves free to love me, to love others? First, to live a life of poverty, that I am enough to receive and to meet these basic needs, I need to have shame, resilience. What does that mean? Excuse us. Okay. Not really. Okay. Brene Brown. Have you heard of her? Brene Brown, TED Talk, The Power of Vulnerability. Right. I love her. She's written a lot of books. The book that I'm reading or have read, and part of this is taken from it, is called Daring Greatly. So Brene Brown is the one that also talks about scarcity. That a lot of us live out of scarcity, right? I created the poverty because scripture, but I really think it makes sense, right? So what does that mean? How do you have shame resilience? She says, Brene Brown says, shame is tough to talk about. No one wants to talk about our dirty linen, right? No one wants to say, hey, you know what, I hate myself. No one wants to talk about it. Right? That's crazy, right? But the conversation isn't as dangerous as what we are creating with our silence. I'll say again, the conversation of talking about our shame isn't as dangerous as what we are creating with our silence. What we are afraid to talk about, the less we talk about it, the more we have it. The less we talk about shame, the more shame we will have. Right? If you are not going to bring it to light, it will grow inside of you like a monster. That's what shame does for us. Okay? And so, when we don't talk about shame, when we refuse to talk about shame, we hand over our self-worth to others. We depend on others for our self-worth because we dare not talk about it. Right? We become a prisoner of pleasing, performing, perfecting. Everything we do is about trying to please people. Everything we do is trying to perform, show that we are good enough. Everything we're trying to perfect. Right? Because we don't want to talk about shame, so we keep doing externals. But if you are ready to start talking about shame, what needs to be done to have shame resilience is to understand our shame takes. What creates that shame in us? What did we grow up in that we keep thinking, I'm not good enough, I'm not perfect enough, right? So we need to cultivate an awareness of that shame and to name it and to be able to speak about it and be able to share it with people that we trust. Right? Does it sound scary? Right? There's a saying called, right? What and shame the devil?
Shame and devil.
Shame the devil, right? Say the truth and shame the devil, right? Something like that. Speak the truth and shame the devil. Right? Because the devil hates truth. Right? The devil is the prince of lies. He rather you keep to yourself all your shame. Don't talk about it. You'll go away. Yeah, right. But when you talk truth, when you speak truth, the devil flees. Because God is the God of truth. Right? So when we can talk about it, we're not saying deny it, we're not saying suppress it, we're saying if I am going through this, and trust me, all of us will go through this. We grow, it will not go away. That's why it's not to have, the first line is not to have opposite of shame, which is what? You know what's opposite of shame? Huh? Shameless. So, life of poverty is not to be shameless. It's to acknowledge that we will always encounter shame, but to know how to recognize it, name it, acknowledge it, and then learn to remove what is not of God. Okay, so here are the steps. Okay, I read out. There's 5 steps to resolve to build this shame resilience. First, to recognize the shame whenever it happens. Whenever you catch yourself thinking, yeah, I'm not good enough, yeah, I'm not as good as that person. Whenever you catch yourself saying that in your internal mind, you catch yourself, hey, isn't that shame? Oh no, I'm feeling shame, right? So to recognize it and to understand the triggers. Yeah, why did I think that way? How come I start to think that I'm not good enough? Where did that come from? Right? And start thinking. It could be childhood, right? It could be an incident that happened, it's projected. Right? For me, it's approval. When I was young, Dad always scolded me. I always thought that I needed approval. So now when I grow up, every senior person in position, right, I'm very scared to talk to them. Because I always think that if they reject my idea, they're rejecting me. Right? So I get a lot of shame that, I'm scared I'm not good enough. I'm scared that, what if they don't approve, right? Actually, it's a childhood wound from my dad. Right? So I must catch myself and say, okay, I'm thinking this way. No, okay. That's where it comes from. So recognize the shame. What are the tapes playing in my head, right? When does this keep happening? Okay. Second thing, practice critical awareness. So at awareness or analyze. So when you catch yourself, you're thinking all these tapes, right? Oh, I'm not good enough. Be critical about it in terms of analyzing it. Is this the truth? When I think that, okay, I'll give you the real example that I wanted to share. Just last week, right, I sent a proposal to a parish priest, right, to ask him for approval to run a program, right. So I sent him my slides, my write-up, then he didn't reply. I texted him again a few days later, and all he said in his text was, "Come see me this Wednesday." What do you think went on in my mind? Oh no, must be something wrong. He doesn't like what I have. Wow, my mind went crazy. Oh no, maybe I made a mistake. I don't know. But the real message was, you are doomed. You failed. You're lousy. You can't even do something that he's approving. Now he wants to see you to judge you, to correct you. Wow, it just blew in my mind. Right? And the trigger was my dad. Right? Every time my dad didn't approve, I get scared. And now I got triggered again. So the tapes were playing in my mind. Right? And all he said was just one sentence for the tapes. You want to answer?
No, maybe I just recognize something in me.
Okay, yeah. Right? So, but then I have to practice critical awareness. Wait a minute. Is what I'm thinking true? I don't know. Right? I need to, if I were critically analyze it, right? Say, but he didn't say that. He didn't say that he doesn't like my idea. He hasn't said anything about it. He just asked me to see him on Wednesday. So if I critically assess it, actually it's as neutral as it can be. Why did I get so caught up? There's no hint that, yeah, he didn't like my proposal. Right? So when I can critically analyze it or be aware, I can take the learnings. Right? If he said something positive, I can take, or I can let go of what's not true. I let go of what's not true. So what did I let go? I let go of the lies that are playing in my head that I'm not good enough, that he doesn't approve of me. Okay? All I take it was, oh, he wants to see me. Maybe he wants to discuss more things. Maybe he wants to clarify things. So I take the learnings. Okay, good. Okay, maybe no. And then I give it back to him. Right? Yeah. So practice critical awareness. Right? Practice courage and reach out. What that means is, I share it with someone. Right? I had to let it out. So I told one of my good friends, yeah, I'm feeling this, but I just said this streets and I'm feeling so lousy by myself, I just need to get it out. And the more I got it out, the more the shame started to reduce in size. Because I spoke the truth and shamed the devil. I acknowledged what I was thinking. And I told someone that I trusted. Right, so practice courage, reach out. That's one. Practice love towards self. Stroke myself. Don't worry, he's not judging you, he hasn't said anything yet, you don't know yet, just be open, try to stroke myself, self-love, practice that self-love. And fifth is to practice ownership of your story and reality. This happened, right? I sent a project, you asked me to see it, okay, let's just own this reality. Don't create my own reality, so, oh no, you know. Own the current reality, own it, right? Because Carl Jung says, I am not what has happened to me, I am what I choose to become. So I'm not going to get caught up with this reality. The other quote that I love is, if you own this story, you get to write the ending. If you own this reality, yeah, you are going to choose to decide what you're going to do with it. If I get so caught up with everything, then yeah, I'm not going to really be present to it. Okay? So this is one way of shame resilience, right? So catch whenever these words come up. Analyze it. Is it true? Is it not true? What's true? Take the learnings. What's not true? Just sort of gently let go. Right? Self-care, self-love. Right? Remind yourself, don't worry, you're okay. Right? Talk to someone, hey, I was feeling this, you know, I just need to let it out. Okay, and I said, okay, this is my reality. Right? This is where I am. Okay, let's just go. This Wednesday I'll see you. Okay? And end up what happened? He actually just said, the title may not. The title. He didn't even look at the write-up because I trust you. He trusted me. He didn't even needed to see my write-up of the content of my talks. He just said, don't worry, that one I trust you. He just said the title may scare people, you know, living theology. Maybe you want to change the title so that you attract more people. And you know what happened? After that, I thought about it. Wow, the next title I thought of was so much more amazing. It's called Abundance. Right? So because of his comment, I did better. So then I started thinking, how stupid are you? Right? But okay, it's, you know, but can you imagine, right? If we never go through this process and we create our own fantasies, it just will wear us down. Okay, so shame resilience, okay, important. Okay, with this, any questions? Or we want to cover all three first? Okay, I think I covered three. Yeah. Trying to rush through. And shame resilience is to stop grabbing. Okay? Opposite of this of grab, shame resilience. I don't want to need to grab hold of his approval. No. Right? Just no need to grab, just accept things as they are. Because the second thing is to receive. What are we receiving? Self-acceptance. To counter comparison. Right? I need to be able to accept this is me. Right? If I'm not good at maths, okay. If I can't run as fast, okay. But I can do other things. Right? Accept who I am. Love myself for who I am. I don't need to become like someone else. I don't need to be better than someone else. Right? So I accept. What do I accept about myself? I accept my individuality, my uniqueness. No one can become like me. No one. God created each of us different, unique. Right? Like snowflakes. Right? Every one of us is different, and everyone is very good. That's in Genesis. All of us are created very good. Okay? So it's the ability to be honest with myself, right? To know, to be honest about my mistakes or my weaknesses. But I don't like to use the word weaknesses. I like to call it the rough edges. Because rough edges can be sharpened. Right? So what is not as good could be sharpened, right? Anyway, yeah. Okay, so to love myself and to be able to not only accept and love myself, to celebrate myself. So not only do I want to accept, I want to have celebrate. To self-celebration, celebrate myself. So it allows me to be spontaneous. If I feel like I want to do this hobby, let's go. If I want to feel like I want to dance, let's go. If I want to do this project, let's go. And I want to celebrate, this is me. If people don't agree, okay, you're lost. I just dust the sand on my sandals and go to someone who might like my idea. Right? Why do I need to be kept but please everybody, right? I just want to be able to celebrate who I am, my individuality, right? So personal vocation is not that, oh, I cannot be a priest and religious, oh yeah, that's holy. No. Right? You live out your true holiness by being who you are meant to be, and you will set the world on fire, right? Actually, they say only priests and religious will set the world on fire. It says as long as you be who you truly are, you will set the world on fire. Which means be who you are, be unrepeatable, right? So dare greatly, do your own things, okay? Okay, last one. So this is about receiving. You receive yourself for who you are, and you celebrate it because God made you a masterpiece. But here's the third thing. Oh, very good. Self-giving. You want So why self-giving? Last Sunday, you remember the readings, first reading and about the widow? Right? In her poverty, she had only one meal left for her and her son. What did Elijah say? Give me something to eat. Must be the most insane and unreasonable request, right? But what did she do? She gave. The widow with 2 coins, nothing else, she gave. That is living in poverty, true poverty. Right? That I have nothing to lose. If you need it, you take it. Right? And that Pope John Paul, right? You will quote about it as this: man cannot fully find himself except through a sincere gift of himself. You want to be fully alive. You want to find who you truly are. You want to love yourself for who you really are meant to be. You are called to be a gift. Because you were made in the image and likeness of God, and God is gift. He gives himself totally to men. We too are called to give ourselves totally to him, totally to others. Self-giving in whatever way. Okay? No greater love than this than to give one's life for one's friends. Right? And this completes self-transcendence. So you'll see, once you get through shame resilience, self-acceptance covers self-value, valuing yourself for who you are, finding security in your identity, stroking yourself when you need to. Sometimes it comes through this. Having structure and spontaneity, being who you are, celebrating but within boundaries. And when you accept yourself, you accept your true human self, you accept others. But it is only self-giving that allows you to self-transcend. It is in self-giving that you become like God. Because one who gives himself totally to man, we men also, so we give ourselves to others. Okay? Okay. Any questions? I give you one last scripture passage to wrap up everything. And it's the famous passage of Mary and Martha. Yeah, sure.
Because previously, during one mass, the priest actually told like the statement "be yourself" sometimes can be wrong because it's quite a thin line between like accepting yourself versus being just comfortable where you are and do not become lazy and becoming like okay, I do this, I'm like self-righteous and selfish. So how to what's the right balance?
When we say be yourself, be the person that you receive from God. Everything, same with the narcissism. I created myself. You realize every single of these attributes, God is always involved. A higher power, your creator is always involved. It's not a selfish love. I love myself for who I am because God made me loving. It's always attached to the higher being. Right? So to be, I be myself, that's me, huh? Too bad, I'm lazy, that's it, be myself, I'm lazy. Too bad, what are you going to do? But did God make you lazy? Did the laziness that you receive from God? No. So being yourself is to be who you are that God made you to be. What you have received from God, be that. Be the identity that you were given by God. So, but don't make excuses. God didn't make you lazy. Right? Okay, what I mean? Does that help? Okay, so this is connection, or this self-acceptance is to accept the me that God has given, to give the me that God has given. So poverty recognizes, that's why blessed are the poor. Because the poor knows that he can never rely on himself. The poor always depends on others. So we are created to always depend on our Creator for providence, for grace. You live in poverty, you live in expectant faith. That God provides, I don't provide for myself. That's pride. That's to live in pride. So living a life of abundance can sometimes be, I provide, the man who created more barns, bigger barns, I'm going to know, abundance, right? He had so much in abundance, he needed great more barns. He was not living in poverty. And God took away everything. Because he didn't learn to receive. So that's the difference between, for me, abundance and poverty. I really prefer this word, living out of poverty. Because in poverty, you learn to rely on someone else. In this case, God. Okay? Everything we are, everything we can be, it's only done through our Creator, no one else. All these needs, it's not some needs that I need to do for myself. God is giving me. But I need the right conditions to choose, to receive, to exercise this. Right? So we turn to God only so that we can receive our self-value, receive our security in Him, love ourselves because God loves us. So we should love ourselves the way God loves us. We should be gentle to ourselves the way God is gentle. We should be forgiving to ourselves by the way God is forgiving to us. Everything that God has done for us, we need to do it for ourselves. So God is always the measure. Right? Structures is given by God, commandments, how we're meant to live our lives, but He also gives us freedom. Don't just live by the letter of the law, live also in the spirit of the law. Right? And then be who you truly are. And you set the world on fire. You are meant to. Do not be conformed to the ways of the world, but be transformed your minds. Okay. 3 minutes, 2 minutes. Mary Martha. Okay, I won't read the whole story, you all know the story, you all go back and read it. Martha, which life is she living out? Scarcity, come. Shame, what was she ashamed about? Sorry?
Serving people, serving the guests.
Okay, maybe I'll quantify first. There are a few ways of reading this passage. Some use it to say listening is better than serving, being is better than doing. I'm going to throw another perspective. this passage may not necessarily be saying that being is better than doing, not necessarily saying that listening is better than serving or serving is any lesser. What Martha did might not have been wrong. Henry Nouwen will challenge this also. Okay. So, what was wrong about Mary? Okay, I think I'm answering this part. Just this last part. Jesus says, Martha, Martha, you worry and trouble about many things. Only one thing is needed. And Mary has chose this one part that should not be worried. A lot of us think that this one thing is the listening at his feet. And Mary chose the better part by listening. Okay, then you tell the priest, sorry, we just want to sit in the adoration room. No need to serve ministry. We just want we want the better part too. So we just sit there. Nobody serve, communion minister, or just sit in the adoration room. So is that really the better part? So I'll challenge you. The better part is this. What Martha didn't do, she focused on herself. She focused on the shame. What Mary is doing makes her feel lousy. That she compared herself to Mary. My sister I'm doing all the cooking. It makes me feel inferior. I'm not good enough. The shame she puts on her. She compares herself to her sister. Right? And that comparison, if only she served with me, it puts me on the same level. But the comparison makes me think that she's doing a better job, and I don't like that. I feel shameful. And I get disengaged. Everything she says, and this is what Martha says, no? Martha says, Lord, don't you care that my sister has left me to do all the serving? Right? Yeah. But no, don't you? Nothing about Jesus, what do you like to eat? Me, it's all about me. She's disengaged. She's just so disengaged from what Jesus is about. She's just so self-conscious. She lives out of scarcity. Want to grab that cup to make her feel better. Mary, on the other hand, what she chose better was that she chose to focus on Christ. Do you think that, as a guest, right, your guest house, then your mother prepare all the food. Have you ever felt guilty that, should I help my mom? Right? You are attending to the guests, then your mom is so busy, oh, I feel guilty, maybe I should help. So you think Mary might not have felt a bit of that guilt? Right? Oh, do you think Mary wouldn't have cared that Martha was doing all the serving? I'm sure part of her was like, oh, should I help her or not? She practiced resilience. She said, I'm just guessing, but this is how I would apply it. Right? It's okay, Martha is good at cooking. I know I'm not good at it. I accept myself for being better at serving guests by listening. But my sister is good at cooking. I let her do the better part. I resist the shame by saying that she makes me feel lesser. Right? I accept and I celebrate. I am unique. I'm here to listen. My sister is also unique. She also is meant to listen. I give myself by listening. My sister gives herself by cooking. So the better part is to practice poverty. To practice choosing Christ as the center and how I can love and serve Him in the unique way that I am. So how would Martha have practiced a life of poverty? She will resist the shame. My sister is serving. Okay, that's good. At least someone is tending to Jesus. I can be busy with this. Self-acceptance. My sister not so good at cooking, but I also I don't like the small talk, so maybe good to my sister then. I do what I'm good at. I accept myself. I don't need to compare with her. Self-giving. This is my way of giving to Jesus. I prepare, I give food. Right? So if both chose the better part, both can listen and serve at the same time and be in living a life of poverty. Does it make sense? So the better part is to be who you truly are. Love yourself, accept yourself, give yourself as who you are. Just because I'm not serving ministry doesn't mean you're any lesser. Maybe at the workplace you are serving people. Right? Just because you are not married doesn't mean you are any lesser. You can serve as a single. But the subtleness is that if I start comparing, I start feeling shameful, I start being disengaged, I start living on scarcity, I will become like Martha, worrying, troubling, why that But the better part is to say, this is me, this is how I accept and love myself, celebrate myself, give myself. And I'm sure we'll give abundantly and happily. Can? Make sense? Okay, right. I know that's That's a lot. Okay, but yeah. Okay. Any questions? You might need some time to choose. Yeah. I mean, I really thank you for giving me this chance because this helped. You are really what I learned in my therapy.